Hello everyone, welcome back. And in this episode here, I'm going to go over a chart and a little bit of news, and we'll see how that goes here. And so, um, let's take a look at the chart here of Mount Gox. And by the way, everyone, I'm feeling a little bit better. Thanks for noticing. I might cough a little bit because I'm still recovering from a cold, but other than that, I feel a lot better. So. Um, let's take a look here. I've mentioned that this is the original line, hard resistance, and it broke out of that finally and finished above it. And so I drew another line from top to this top, and the original point was it broke out and stopped right here and then played around here. So I was a little worried that this might be another resistant line, but it broke through that as well, and it's continuing to go up. It's actually crossed over here on the averages, and it's gone up. And so this is an interesting signal when I saw this. And by the way, I made several buys here at these prices, and man, for the amount that I bought, I've been buying up and down all around here, but at the prices that I've been buying, especially when it got down to here, it was so tempting to uh, just put it all in, but at the same time, I had to realize, in proportion to, um, how much U.S. dollars you have, and in proportion to what you can buy, try to keep that rule about a 10% rule. Buy 10% of what you can buy and sell, sell out, and whatever. Um, but anyways, I made several purchases around this time frame, and I pretty much got more bitcoins at Mt. Gox account than I ever did before, and I got it at a fractional price. I mean, fractional. So, anyways, up, I saw this breakthrough, so I wanted to take a look at some of the other exchanges, and they've somewhat broken through. This is definitely broken through here. This is Bitsy, and so I just try to draw another line because I saw it stop right here, and I was wondering why it stopped here, and this could be another reason that this resistant line here is you see it's the resistance was here, now it's turning, and when you'll see it eventually, it'll just finally just start, turning up, and you'll see the breakout. And then of course here, I've had it at the top, and it's clearly has broken out. So there's some good news here. When I saw this, I said to myself, well, this is interesting because these candlesticks kind of show an upward. It wasn't like these kind of candlesticks where they just shot up and then shot back down. And this is on a 4-hour basis. So on a 4-hour, for this to shoot up and stay up, that's a good sign. That means there's genuine buying going on. And so it's slightly broken out here. We'll see how much of a breakout it goes, and then we'll see the drop down. But most importantly, um, Mount Gox has broken out finally. So there might be a chance, and I was wondering, well, there's got to be something to this. Is there some rumors going on? Is there some announcements? So I have a Mount Gox account. I looked for some announcements, didn't see any announcements, but I looked for some news, and here's what I came up with. Oh, excuse me. Here's what I came up with is Bitcoin prices on Mt. Gox are going bananas. So there seems to be some rumors that some withdrawals are being tested or actually being done. I guess some people are looking at are either trying it or somehow they're looking through the blockchain and seeing some interaction on I guess addresses that are known to be Mt. Gox addresses. So so there's one, and then there's another one as well. And here I'll show you the author and the article and the date. There you go. And so I've seen this gentleman report several times, and pretty good reporting. And then here's the other article. There you go, so you can see it. Okay, there you go. So here it is. Here's another one. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting what's going on. This is, I guess, a view of Bitcoin Builder, that site that's buying Bitcoins um, from locked out Mt. Gox users. I've been I've been I've been putting some I've been putting the word out that I am interested in buying Mt. Gox account holders. Um, Anybody out there with Mt. Gox account and they want to liquidate their holdings in Mt. Gox, feel free to contact me. I'm interested. I'm not going to pay you the Mt. Gox price, of course, but there's a graph here on what's going on Block Builder. I think I mentioned it, where there's an actual exchange going on within an exchange. So very interesting. So there's some news on that, and so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about there, and let's do some more confirmations here. This is a 5-day 1 hour, I believe, and it's obviously showing finally some up movement. But what I like to do is let's take it down to 10 days and put it onto a 6 hour. Well, let's look at a 2 hour. On a 2 hour, it's definitely crossed, finished up, and it's riding the 10 period average. This is weighted, so that's a very bullish sign. About time. I mean, if you looked at it, I mean, it never barely crossed here, and it just muddled through and just worked its way down. But finally, this is a very good bullish sign. And then just one more. I'll do a 6 hour, but there you go. Even on the 6 hour, and I've been really waiting for the 6 hour because 6 hours has been saying it all. I mean, it's just riding on the 10 period weighted average, and finally it's just crossed over and it's finished above it. If this stays up, that's a very strong sign. And it's like I said, it's kind of weird how things, price action, almost is foretelling of something that's happening right now. So there's sentiment that this withdrawal issue is over with Mt. Gox, because I've been saying if Mt. Gox goes, well, Bitstamp's going to go down. If Mt. Gox like dissolves, turns insolvent, you're looking at Bitstamp, Bitsy, you're looking at all the indices going down. So if y'all want to survive, you better hope Mt. Gox survives, all right? Because if Mt. Gox doesn't, I don't think the other indices are going to survive as well. They're going to take a hit, all right? So, anyways, so there may be some news that business as usual. You may not get your money out of Mt. Gox, but at least you can get your Bitcoins, right? So there's some news on that, and then finally, let's look at some volume action here. Now, if you look at the volumes now, look at that. Mt. Gox has dramatically picked up. It's volume-wise in Bitcoin, it's gone up. Of course it would, because we're trading like at pennies to the dollar compared to this was at $100 at one point, and this was $6. Like I said, I was buying around that range, and man, I could not believe the money that I spent to buy a Bitcoin compared to the high of, like, well, this is the last 30 days, but imagine 1,000. Basically, if it was $100, I'm getting a penny to the dollar. I barely used any of the US dollars that I had, and I'm telling you, it was right now I'm actually very at the current price that it's at. I am so glad that I survived and stuck it through, and just was able to trade at Mt. Gox when this happened, because a lot of people were complaining about Mt. Gox. A lot of people were saying how horrible it is, but if you know how to trade, you know how to take advantage of volatility, panic selling, panic buying. You just know how to play the markets. And if you haven't, if you're wondering how I'm doing this, or the way I think about my trade, start back to Bitcoin Trade 01 and work your way all up to now, and maybe that's going to help you get an idea of how to trade Bitcoin, how to live your life through Bitcoin. Because really, if you're going to go into this kind of trade, you have to live your life through Bitcoin. Um, so I've kind of explained why I live my life through Bitcoin. I'm exchanging my debt for credit. Of course, you can go back to credit into debt. Totally up to you. I do that to pay off, you know, any other debts or um, anything I want to purchase with legal tender. So, anyways, so look at the volume, and you'll notice that volume-wise, they're on top again. But so cheap to trade, I can see the reason for the increase. But if you look at the money in it, money compared to what it's worth, it's not quite on top. Bitstamp is on top as far as U.S. dollars, and it's second place to Bitsy. But right now, if we're just counting, if you're considering a Bitcoin ecosystem, all right, you're looking at Bitcoin volume, not fiat, currency volume. So technically, you could say Mt. Gox is now back on top as far as volume, and so I guess you can say that, despite the price being this low. But here's the thing. I mean, if that's true, withdrawals are being tested and it's working. Look at the price of Mt. Gox. Even at 300, it's still a pretty good price. You're still looking at 50 cents to the dollar compared to the other indices. I mean, it's I don't know. It's up to you guys. I mean, I know a lot of people don't trust Mt. Gox, but I've been trading at Mt. Gox and I have no problem. As a matter of fact, I want to let me see if I got it right here. Well, I'm not gonna show it because it has sensitive information, but but I've been writing to support back and forth and just trying to keep a friendly rapport with the person who was responding to my support questions, and it from what I can tell, it doesn't seem like anything's wrong in any strange way, like insolvency problem wrong. I let him know that I've been trading at Mt. Gox, and I don't plan on leaving Mt. Gox for the price that it's at. I mean, how if you're already here and what's the issue? I mean, if you're already here and you got the money, you can't get your money out, you can't get your bitcoins out, and the price is falling like crazy. I mean, what the risk of going insolvent versus the risk of you know potentially making a lot of money, isn't it worth the risk? Because look, it was at 100, anywhere from $100 to $200. I mean, if you just made out like a bandit. All right. So I'm gonna continue to trade. I mean, the thing is, I think I mentioned, and I know I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because of the withdrawal issues. But okay, all right. Oh, look, they changed it. They changed it a little bit. Look, they put Bitstamp, Bitsy, this thing, Litecoin, and then they put they put Mt. Gox at the very end here, like saying, we don't know if we're gonna have them long enough, or we'll just put them here at the end just to show how kind of insignificant, unimportant they are to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Anyways, it's still here. When I look up the indices for U.S. dollars, Mt. Gox is still showing up. CoinDesk may not use them, but you know what? I'm a trader. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it because you know what? According to this exchange here, that's what Bitcoin's worth. So it's a valid price. All right, it's a valid price discovery mechanism. So, but that's all right. I'm still going to trade because, like I was telling you from my last episodes, you can do hyper trading. Even into different cryptocurrencies if you wanted to. I don't, because well, I think I did an episode on other cryptocurrencies. They're just copies of Bitcoin. The value of Bitcoin's not there, although it doesn't matter. You just buy more coins or less coins for the dollar amount that you want to trade in. Um, Litecoin is a good second alternative, but even then, I don't really trade in it. Um, First of all, the reason why Bitcoin's um, you know with technology, it's kind of common for the first thing to come out to the value of that first technology to be expensive at its introduction into the market, and then from there it kind of drops in value because it's being replaced by a better technology, faster technology, whatever. Um, I think Bitcoin's going to buck that trend for one simple reason, and the fact that it's they're if you look at the other cryptocurrencies, they're just based off of Bitcoin, so they're not really much of an improvement over Bitcoin in my opinion. And second thing is Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, um, and because of that, there's historical value in Bitcoin. If you have been looking at all of the announcements coming out regarding cryptocurrencies, you notice that they mention mostly Bitcoin being the most popular by now. They mention Bitcoin in their announcements and in their guidance. Not well, not everyone, but most of them. They're specifically saying Bitcoin in particular. So there's going to be some historical significance to Bitcoin versus the other alternative cryptocurrencies. So, anyways, so that's kind of the reason why I think why I trade just Bitcoin, because I really don't want to waste my time with other cryptocurrencies, and I find purchasing things with cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, that's what's out there right now, so that's what I'm going to use. Until somebody or some other cryptocurrency or some other thing comes along where it's more valuable than Bitcoin, I might diversify my assets, my holdings, all right, or virtual currency holdings, whatever. So this is big, and it's finishing up and still pushing. So I like to see how far this is going to be pushed. If this is true that withdrawals are being done, this could be the reason why the prices are going up, especially at Mt. Gox. I told you, if people put a run on the bank to withdraw their Bitcoins, because I'm still hearing withdrawal issues with fiat currency. So your money is going to still be here, but the Bitcoins is the amount of Bitcoins that's at this exchange is going to be less, so it's going to drive the price up at this particular exchange, and possibly drive the price down at some of the other exchanges. Possibly, I'm just saying, but there you go. If you didn't trade at Mt. Gox and you were locked out of Mt. Gox and you couldn't get a Bitcoin for this price, sorry, you missed out. That's kind of the reason why I chose to trade on all three major U.S. Bitcoin exchanges, because you never know. You have to play on the volatility. Bitcoin is independent of any exchange, of any person, any country. It doesn't really care if you're the sophisticated investor or a guy off the street. Anybody who wishes to voluntarily participate in trading Bitcoin, there's no restrictions, and there's no control, So if you are getting into the Bitcoin trend, you have to accept that Bitcoin at this exchange is worth only 312, which was only less than a day and a half was only worth $91.50. So this is a way to make some hyper trades based off of different indices trading the same Bitcoin, and that's what makes this unique compared to other markets or other cryptocurrencies, even like Litecoin. I mean, that's it. It's just Litecoin. It's not any Litecoin anywhere else. That's kind of the price, or it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not. The other cryptocurrencies aren't at the point where Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin was the first. So it has a more broader range, more market exposure, um, and it's more popular. All right. So so now that there may be a possible chance that some withdrawals can be done, we'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see what happens and how that works out. But this is a very good sign, and the other indices are reflecting that as well. See, other indices are also reflecting that sign as well. So we'll see what happens. If the rumors are true and things are going to be back to normal, that's great. Great for me, because man, I bought in. I sold out, and then I rebought in, because after I started breaking through all my supports, I realized, well, this is something different. So eventually I sold out of my position, all of it, to retain my principal, and then was strategically making rebuying back in at specific prices that I wanted to purchase. So anyways, hopefully, for all those people who were trading at Mt. Gox and you were able to get these prices, I guess good for you guys for sticking it through and believing in Bitcoin and surviving, because you're gonna make out like bandits, and good for you. So anyways, this concludes my episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to like, dislike, comment, or even do a video response. Until then, stay tuned for the next episode. Bye now.